Hi everyone, I'm Sandie La Nae. Welcome to Psychic Creations. We have a very fun show for you today. As you know, Psychic Creations has filmed a few shows that are history related, such as with Kim Harris's Western History Alive, and also an interview with historical garment seamstress Liza McGilvey. Well, today our special guest has a unique avenue into our history programs, what with being a Chautauqua performer and also a historic garment seamstress. Welcome to the show, the three-time Psychic Creations special guest, DebiLynn Smith.
Thank you, Sandy. It's a pleasure to be here again.
Oh, it's always an honor to have you with us.
To know the show's host.
It does. All right. Yes, your three shows. She's been on presenting Oracle Runes.
Correct.
Creating Oracle Runes. And now you're Chautauqua.
Chautauqua.
I love that. I'm sure our viewers are going to be very interested in your Chautauqua persona and the dresses that you make for that character. Well, first off, I'd like to refresh the memories of our viewers and myself too, and ask you a few questions if I might. All right. Are you a native Nevadan?
I am not. I was born in Bishop. Raised in Bridgeport, actually Sonora Junction with the Caltrans station. But we were 6 miles from Nevada, so I kind of consider myself that. And Carson City was where we came to do our shopping and our doctors and our dentists and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm as much Nevadan as anybody else.
Well, sure you are. And when did you move to Carson?
We moved to Carson 2 years ago, August.
Oh.
So we're new into the city, but like I said, this was our home port.
Right.
So.
Do you like living in Carson City?
I do. I do. The history of the city is very important to me, and I love the people. Obviously, we've made some wonderful friends since we've moved here, and I like the climate. I can actually have a better garden than I could at 7,500 feet where I used to live.
Yeah, right.
So
exactly.
I do like Carson City.
All right. Well, let's get right to the point here.
Oh boy. Okay.
All right. Let's see. When did you become interested in history?
I'd have to say that as a smaller child, I'm still a child, so a smaller child, that my first interest in history was probably piqued when my mom and dad used to read me the We Were There series. They were a group of childhood books back then, and we were there with Lewis and Clark, and we were there on the Chisholm Trail, and we were there with the Transcontinental Railroad, and we were there with the 49ers. So there was a lot of historical books, but they were geared toward children, not necessarily, little guys, but grade school. And that really piqued my interest. But my favorite, I think, that really got me going was Patty Reed's Doll. And that book was written in the point of view of a little child's doll, a little wooden doll that came with Patty Reed, and she was part of the Donner Party. And the doll still survives today. It's in the museums. It's been in the Carson City Museum. Currently, I believe it's in the Sacramento Museum. And little tiny wooden doll about yay big, and she would fit in Patty's pocket. And so they wrote the story from the viewpoint of the dolly.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Isn't that interesting?
And tonight at Dagberg Ranch will be a presentation by another fellow Chautauquan who is going to present Patty Reed. So it's going to be very exciting. So we're very prominent out there.
Well, sure. Oh, how wonderful. And then you just gained even a more, I don't know, interesting interest in history from just the stories of childhood stories. Isn't that fascinating? Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, history is very interesting. And what area of history do you happen to like best?
I think my favorite is the 1840s to the 1860s or early 1870s. It was a very tragic time in our history. We had the miners, the gold rush to California and the West, but we also had the Civil War within that time zone.
True.
But it was also a very exciting time. I mean, we had boomtowns going. We had Virginia City, we had Carson City, we had Aurora and Bodie and Lundy and all of the little places in the area that made millions for the folks that did travel west. And that was something I've always been interested in. I grew up near Bodie, near Aurora, near Masonic.
You did?
So that was my playground when I was a kid. So
Sure.
to be able to touch and feel and see all the stuff from history was pretty nice.
Oh my gosh, it sounds like you were just really engulfed.
We were
different history.
very much so. And my parents loved it. We always went, field trips and stuff on
Sure.
the weekends and explored this and explored that, probably some places we shouldn't have been. But this was before Bodie became a state park, so.
Right. Sure.
But yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, I'm so happy for you.
I loved it.
All right. Now, let's see. Can you tell us what piqued your interest in Chautauqua? And this is going to be a two-part question. If you can kind of like mold into that, can you tell our viewers just exactly what Chautauqua is? Chautauqua
is a factual portrayal of a actual person in history. And as we say in Battleborn, Civil War reenactors, which is a group I'm with, it's from the underwear out girls. Because we go, everything is period correct, as they say. From all the layers up. And so as a Chautauquan, you not only dress the part, but you research. And
Good.
I have some very wonderful researching friends. Arlene LaFerry from the Nevada Historical Society in Reno, love ya. And Kim Harris, who is Western History, Western History Alive. Genoa Ghost Tours, and a class act, Chautauquan actor herself. She is just amazing.
Yes, she is.
She's just, the bomb.
Yeah, she is. She is.
I'm fortunate to have those two ladies in my wheelhouse when it comes to Chautauqua, local Chautauqua, because the history I can glean from Arlene and the suggestions that Kim gave me, and they were very instrumental in some of the things that I'm portraying now, so it's nice.
Awesome.
Now, as far as, what was the other part?
Oh, the first part was actually, goofed everything up there. What piqued your interest in Chautauqua?
Oh, okay, well that started back probably 8th grade, give or take.
Oh.
For an 8th grade project, we were all asked to pick an author that we liked. Well, I loved Laura Ingalls Wilder, Little House on the Prairie fame.
Right.
And so I dressed, and we had to give a presentation for about 20 minutes on our author and what they wrote and what they did. Well, because Laura's story was so easy to pick up because she had a 7-series book collection that had all of her life, so it was real easy. But no, I really did love the series when I was growing up, and so I played Laura Ingalls Wilder when I was in 8th grade.
Oh.
And I did a 20-minute presentation of her life and in a soliloquy like we do as Chautauqua, and that's kind of what started it all, and I've played many since then.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh, yes. What personalities or persona?
One that I've played a lot at different occasions, particularly in Bridgeport during, the 4th of July celebrations and the Founders Day, is Dusty, the old gold miner. You would not recognize me.
Oh, how fun!
Yeah. You touch me and I have dust because I go roll in the dirt.
Oh.
I have a gold pan and I have all the things. The only thing I'm short of is a donkey to pull behind me. But that's Stinky and Clementine in Virginia City.
Well,
so,
it is. It is. How fun!
So I played that. I have played several Native American characters. The one that was local and most memorable was I played Joseph Walker's Shoshone wife. Joseph Walker was a scout with John Fremont who literally discovered this area for the white folk. And he was purported to be, or whatever that word goes, purported to be the first white man to see Yosemite.
Yes. Okay, sure.
But I won't let the cat out of the bag because there's another friend of mine that's done a research book on it, so you'll have to look that one up.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm not going to let that out of the bag. But anyway, so I played his wife as a Shoshone woman, and the most recent portrayal of her was at Joseph Walker Days a couple of years ago at Walker River Resort in Smith Valley. And we did a whole day, like, reenactment encampment, and I was his wife there. That was the one time I've done it. Laura Ingalls Wilder, I've done several other nondescript people in history, but
Okay.
you know, characters,
Mhm.
so to speak.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah.
How fun. Well, when did you become a Chautauquan, if that's a word?
I think it is.
Yeah.
It is now.
Yeah, if it isn't, it is now. Check your dictionaries.
Probably, I guess, formally 8th grade.
Oh, okay, sure,
8th grade
sure.
would have been my first performance.
Mhm.
You know, on stage, and
Right.
had to pin it down and practice and that kind of stuff.
Oh,
So
how fun.
yeah. So,
Oh, this is fascinating.
yeah.
This is.
So I've always been a ham, if that's what you're asking.
Oh, well, that's all right. Well, you're good at it.
I am. I'm very good at it.
All right, now let's see. This is going to be a three-part question,
gosh,
so
confusing.
I know. Can you tell our viewers what persona that you are portraying now?
Currently?
Okay.
Okay.
And the historic year or era that
Okay.
she's from,
Okay.
and why you chose her as your character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Currently, I portray Anna Norgard Olsen Harris Bierman. That's a mouthful.
Wow.
She was a Norwegian immigrant, and I'm not going to give this all away.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
She was a Norwegian immigrant, and her family settled in Genoa. Anna was most famously known in the area, and probably all the state of Nevada, because she was the first woman documented in Douglas County, and possibly the whole state of Nevada, to receive a sole proprietorship in just her name, without a husband or a man attached to the business.
Very important.
So she was very prominent as a businesswoman in the Carson Valley.
Mhm.
She raised several children, hers, his, and ours, and was a very strong, independent woman who was very much a key part of the growth of Gardnerville and Minden, because she moved her store from Genoa across the river to this side. And that when the
Oh.
route started going this way and they built a bridge to cross it, then she was one of the ones that helped really settle Gardnerville and Genoa, or Minden. So
Interesting. Very interesting.
she was born in the 1840s,
Okay.
died in 1907. I think it's 1907, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Very strong person, and thanks again to Arlene, but mostly thanks to Kim Harris, because I was researching a woman to portray, and Kim had mentioned Anna to me. And so I started researching, and I went, asked Arlene for some information, and she sent some, and then I was fortunate enough to spend 2 almost full days at the archives at the Douglas County Museum, downstairs, perusing through her family
Right.
records.
Oh.
I was able to actually physically touch the document that gave her the sole proprietorship. I know, goosebumps. Really, it was
Yes.
just amazing.
Oh.
And there's a large portrait of Anna in the museum itself, in the Women in History room.
Is there?
She's very prominent.
Okay.
Her favorite thing was she wore pearl earrings, little pearl dots. So when I portray her, that's my little key that
Oh, I see.
I don't have them on now, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's my key that I'm portraying Anna. I've even spent some time with her at Lone Mountain Cemetery.
Have you?
Found her grave.
Nice.
Yes, and have given her flowers, and we've had some chats in hopes that that kind of a connection can be made, and that I can pick up little characteristics and idiosyncrasies that she had in her life to portray. So you're definitely very correct. She was a mercantilist. She owned the store. She sent her sons down to Rhyolite, Nevada. And they opened Harris and Sons, which was not her husband, but it was her and her sons that opened another mercantile during the gold rush down toward Death Valley.
Really?
So
Oh.
a very prominent woman, but I don't want to get it
Sure.
all the way.
Right,
Yes,
yeah.
You can see this Chautauqua portrayal at Western History Festival that Kim Harris is going to present at Dangberg Ranch in September. I think it's the 17th of September.
Oh, nice.
So I'll be featured in that particular Chautauqua presentation.
Oh, how
So,
nice.
yeah.
You know, I wanted to kind of add something here that you brought up, that you visit her in the Lone Mountain Cemetery. And this is very interesting because I've asked other Chautauquans, other people that portray characters in history, even people that research history, do you feel that you have channeled information from that particular entity that they are now? And each and every one of them has said yes.
Yes.
Do you feel that she has Anna has given you just some insights into her personality, her life, how she perceived the world that she lived in?
I do believe that. I feel that when especially when I'm at her graveside, I feel that she's really like blessing what I'm doing.
Right.
Giving me permission to portray her, because women in history, especially the West, their stories are hard to research because there's nothing documented about the women.
Very
Nothing.
true.
They were the wife of so-and-so. They
Right.
were the sister of so-and-so. So to research a true woman in history in Nevada, you really got to get your fingernails dirty and dig. You really do. And again, look, Arlene and the folks at Douglas County Museum, bless you, because that's how I was able to dig up. And Kim for suggesting Anna, because her house is still in Genoa. So
Oh, okay,
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's kind of fun that I've got my friends that are helping guide my Nevada portrayals. Let's put it that way. My Nevada portrayals.
Well, I think Anna is very honored to have you
She's
portray
beautiful.
her.
She's a beautiful woman.
How nice.
She physically, I mean, she was. The picture of her is just wow. She's very. You can really tell that she's.
Hardy stock.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Hardy
ma'am.
stock. Sure. Well, now, are there other Chautauquan projects that you're involved in?
There are currently. I was asked by the family to portray Betty Hughes Andrews, who is the grandmother of Chrissy Collin of Collin Ranch fame in Reno.
Oh.
The Andrews family and the Collin family were very, very, very prominent figures in the settlement of Virginia City, Bodie, Aurora, Masonic, Lundy, and Carson City, and they were right there when all the rushes were going on. But then the family moved to Reno, started settling there, put in a big ranch where the subdivisions are now, and that was how they fed a lot of the miners. They ran cattle ranching out of the Collin Ranch. So they found their gold in four-legged little things that go moo. So
I love
that's how they were merchants of the beef and stuff to feed the miners in Virginia City and around the area. We met with a friend of mine and talked to Chrissy about my portraying Betty, her grandmother, her great-grandmother. And this family was very prominent, and they found their gold, as it were, in the Comstock era by providing the beef to the mining towns and stuff like that. So their little gold had four legs and they went moo. So they
How fun.
so it's quite interesting that the way things come around, because I had a friend of a friend that knew Chrissy Collin, and they have a whole family book that I could research.
Oh my
Pictures,
gosh.
history, letters, and the whole 9 yards. So I've probably read that 3 times, cover to cover, back to back, all the way
How
to
fun.
portray her. So it's going to be quite interesting.
Oh my
This is a
gosh.
project for next year, though. I told him
Oh,
I can't.
okay.
This year's
Right.
like wow, swamped with Battleborn Civil War reenactors,
Sure.
Pony Express, and all the other things that we do.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, you're
Yes,
busy.
I am.
You're busy.
I love it.
But before we talk about your busyness, let's talk about, if you don't mind, another busyness that you do, and that is your seamstress work for your dresses.
Wow. Shall I begin from the
Yes,
beginning?
please.
Begin from the beginning. My mama taught me to sew when I was about 6.
Oh, okay.
I still have the first button that I sewed onto a piece of material.
Oh,
And
fun.
I found this last weekend when we were going through some things down there, my first little toy sewing machine, which is about yay big.
Oh.
And then later on, I took 4-H, like a
Oh,
lot of us
sure.
country kids
Right,
did.
sure.
And in grade school, and then we had like a home ec class in 8th grade, and then home ec all the way through high school. So thank you, Mrs. Jackie Georgie. She was my home ec teacher and my 4-H teacher, and taught me to sew.
Oh, nice.
I've done my costumes now that I do, but I've also done my first wedding. I did my first wedding dress.
Oh.
My father's suit for that wedding, my mom's gown for that wedding. So yeah, I've been sewing a lot since I was a little kid. So
Oh,
yeah.
sure.
And now with the big ball gowns and stuff that we make for the Battleborn group, and my portrayal of the different characters, Anna and Betty. So.
Well, when you are researching to portray a certain persona, do you look back in history and see what type of
Oh,
dresses,
absolutely.
outfits?
Oh, absolutely.
They-
Like I said before, it's from the underwear out. It's
Okay.
very much period correct. A true Chautauquan will take it to that degree.
Interesting.
You know, to the fact that most of us ladies that play women in history don't have our nails done, or if we do,
Okay,
we wear gloves over our
Okay, sure.
over our false fingernails.
Right, yeah.
You know, we never show an ankle in public. That's why the long dress today. Those kind of things. So yes, it's very. I'm at the personally right now. I'm at the point where I'm going to be ordering some new glasses that are period correct, because even when we're doing this, if I've got photo gray lenses and they turn,
Oh, okay, sure.
and it's not
right.
period correct. So
Right.
you know, every picture you see, I'm grabbing my glasses and hiding them behind my back or
Right.
something, because we try to be as authentic as we can, all the way down from the jewelry to the the fingernails to the underoos.
Underoos, you
Yes.
bet.
So-
And accessories too,
Yes.
hats or
Hats.
jewelry or...
Yes, that's my favorite, I think, of all. I love making the dresses. They're a project.
Sure, I can imagine.
But I love making hats.
You do
I
too.
I do love making hats. My little caps, my hats, my tea hats. I even get into it so far that I make the ribbon roughly myself, and I make ribbon roses to adorn them.
Ribbon roses?
Yeah, they're hand gathered and sucked up, and then they turn into roses, and so yeah, I really get into hats. I think hats.
Well, how fun. How long does it take you to create a complete outfit? Or let's start with the dress. How long would that take you, basically?
Okay, so the dress and the bodice, which are two pieces, the skirt and the bodice.
Okay.
For most outfits.
Mm-hmm.
The ball gown that I made for our Christmas ball this last winter took me 17 hours. From the point of laying the material on the table, cutting it out, and the seamstress part, and then the adornment, the handwork later, with all the ribbon roses and all of the, hand sewing all that stuff on there.
Good.
So about 17 hours for that dress.
Okay.
A more simpler one that I've made was probably about 10.
Okay,
a more
sure.
workday dress with not a lot of adornment or lace or trims or ribbons and
Okay.
stuff like that. A more everyday dress.
Mhm.
So.
Interesting.
Laura Ingalls Wilder on costumes. Not to interrupt you, but
That's
Laura
okay.
Ingalls Wilder on costumes was funny because I think that's where I really first started making my outfits
Okay.
for Chautauqua, because they had this little raggy skirt and this little blouse, and and they said, well, just wear your hair in pigtails. And I went, So I went home, made the blouse, made the skirt. I even made the poke bonnet, the little famous cap that she's famous for with the big ties.
Yeah?
For it, because it wasn't right. It wasn't what she looked like.
Right.
I did wear my hair in pigtails, but
Mhm.
that was,
Sure.
yeah, to portray her. That poke bonnet was, Half Pint had that poke bonnet out the back, when she was running down to meet Pa.
Right.
So that was part of it, so yeah.
How interesting. Boy, you are really just engulfed, which is, I'm using that as a good word, with the history and your character.
I don't know any of the Chautauquans that aren't.
Sure, that's very
McAvoy,
true.
I mean, you've seen him do Mark Twain. He's amazing. Kim as Charlie Parker's and
Warren Epson.
Warren Epson
Oh,
and
yeah.
Julia Boulay.
And Julia Boulay. Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. She's
So,
awesome.
She's just, I mean, she could go from Julia Boulay to Warren to Charlie in like that and totally be a
She
character.
can. She can.
Just, it's amazing, and this is what I strive to be. It's what I hope, with their help and her and Arlene and you guys, that this is where I want to get someday.
I think you're already there.
I'm working on it, but I can never compare myself to those guys. But
Well,
yeah, we'll see.
You're
The proof is in the
awesome.
pudding in September.
Yeah,
So,
I think you'll find
the big
yourself.
performance by myself. So
I think you'll find you are awesome. Do you still happen to have the Laura Ingalls Wilder outfits that you made? Oh!
I wish I did. Now I'm sorry that kind of. I think we left it with the school so somebody else could play her.
Oh, sure.
those kind of
well,
things,
that
yeah.
was nice to do.
Well, yeah, because that was part of having 20 kids in your class. It was
Sure.
a small school and everybody pitched in.
Yeah,
So.
well, that was nice, you bet. Now, you have talked about the Battleborn and Pony Express. I'm having a feeling that you are associated with those affiliations.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a
Can you
little bit.
expand for our viewers on those?
Battleborn Civil War reenactors are a Carson-based group, and we portray life in the Civil War in 1861. Our particular civilian corps, which I am part of, I'm not one of those that goes out and shoots the the booms and the bangs. We set up an encampment of the old canvas tents, the whole 9 yards.
Nice.
In fact, it's kind of ironic, but I like to brag about it, is most of our camps are set up entirely by women, including our 9-foot high ceiling big tent, what we call the Taj Mahal. It's actually a garrison tent, and it's all set up by women.
Really?
Yes.
I'm impressed.
From staking all those little stakes in to, you know, we all swing them all.
I'm impressed.
We don't do it in those dresses though, because if you ever try to do that in a corset, you can't do it. So
You do?
don't have enough breath to lean over and hammer at the same time. I can't breathe. But you always heard about them getting, well, that was the vapors, definitely.
The vapors. Oh,
but yeah, we set up encampments at different things. We just finished with Mills Park in June.
yes.
We had a successful 4-day run, had a blast, talked to a lot of people, and as a 501c, our big thing is, is information and education. We do school events.
Oh, nice.
We're getting ready to do a dressing at Dangberg Ranch, and I think it's July 30th, where we talk about the underoos out. From the they're called underpinnings.
Okay, underpinnings.
Sorry.
Interesting.
And so we will show how a woman is dressed from the inside out, to explain what goes into it, and then we'll have various types of costumes. I'm going to be wearing a riding habit. Ladies will be there in morning dresses, and I don't mean AM, I mean morning.
Morning, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Day dresses, traveling outfits, and all the in between. There'll be about 8 or 9 of us ladies doing this dressing.
Nice.
Yes, that's the Battleborn group.
Yeah.
We'll be doing that. We're also going to be active at the Wild Bill. It's not really called the Wild West Show. It's called the Wild Bill Exposition.
Oh, okay.
That we're doing at Dangberg Ranch. Another day that we'll all be out there. We'll have a little mini encampment set up. So
Oh, how
yes.
fun.
Big deal at Lyon County at the
Okay.
fair in August. I can hardly wait to be in all those clothes in August in Yerington, but that's okay.
Boy, well, carry a big fan with you.
Exactly. Well, if you ever see the ladies rocking with the big hoop skirts,
Okay.
that's because it draws the draft in to cool you off underneath.
Oh, is that right?
Show wasn't supposed to say that. But
Oh, well, that's a wonderful piece of trivia.
so if you ever see us standing there like rocking, it's
Yeah.
because we're letting air in underneath to cool off.
I love it. Isn't that fun?
So things you learn.
Yeah.
Psychic creations.
That's right. How fun is
Yeah,
that?
so that's Battleborn. We are based here, and we'll have contact information at the end of the
Yes,
show.
yes, we sure will.
Anybody wants to come out, we call it playing, so come on in and join us. We can
Yeah.
also use it. And we're getting more and more youth members,
Nice.
young ladies and young gentlemen that are coming and joining, which is nice because some of us are getting kind of old for this.
Oh.
You know. Well, our oldest member is in her 70s, mid-70s, and she's right out there pounding steaks with the rest of us, so
Isn't that
you
nice?
know, it's
That's
nice
fun.
to have some younger bodies helping out.
Sure, they got the
But
strength.
please come out. There's contact information at the end of the show. We'd love to have more people join us.
You bet.
It's a
Oh,
lot
how
of fun.
wonderful.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And now I just found out that you are now part of the Pony Express.
I know.
Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you. Wow. Yeah, that was quite a venture. Can I tell the whole story?
You bet.
Okay. My old boss, who was on the board of directors where I worked down in Topaz, at Topaz Ranch Water Company, was the great nephew of Pony Bob Haslam, who made the most famous Pony Express ride all the way from Fort Churchill to the top of Spooner Summit, almost 141 miles, because all of the stations ahead of him kept getting burnt out by the Indians. And he was an amazing man, amazing Pony Express, and Steve was his great nephew. So we've talked about Pony Express for years, but living that far out, I couldn't really get involved. So when we moved to Carson City 2 years ago, I joined Pony Express this last fall, and Steve had some health issues and had to step down off the Pony Express board.
Sure.
So we had an interim election, and I was chosen to refill his place. So I'm on the board now.
Yay! Nice.
But yeah, so Pony Express just finished our re-ride, which happens every year. We rode the mail from Sacramento, California, all the way to St. Joseph, Missouri.
Yes.
1,196 miles
Oh gosh.
in 10 days, 4 hours and 23 minutes.
Isn't that fun?
24 hours a day, over 700 riders and support group
Wow.
to make this happen. It's very exciting. I mean, and you could send a letter.
Yes.
Same thing it cost in 1861 is $5.
$5 to
Yeah.
send. What was it, like a 2-ounce?
2-ounce letter,
Something
very,
like
5 or
that.
6 words on a piece of paper was all you really could because of the weight. And so you can do the same thing now. We can even send it overseas.
Oh.
We've enlisted a whole stock of seahorses to carry that across the ocean. You're not believing that, are you?
I was. Until you said seahorses, and then it's like, okay.
So we have a whole corral of those little critters. But yes, you
fun.
can send it overseas. We sent one to my mother-in-law. She did get it.
Oh,
And
nice.
she's so excited. She goes, oh my gosh, this is so neat.
Oh.
So, yeah, so it's quite fun to be a part of that and that history.
Yeah.
Again, Nevada history.
Right, sure.
Well, California, Nevada, all the way across.
Mhm.
But, yeah, to be able to relive that and to be part of that organization and to support, again, another 501c that does education. We're in the schools. We did a big homeschooling event up at Galena this last spring.
Really?
Yeah, we
Okay.
had 120 people from the schools, the homeschoolers, that showed up on their own accord, not 120 students that had to be there because there was school that day.
Right.
So that's a big difference.
Sure.
You have to go to this assembly or you may come to our presentation. So
Right.
that was quite a gathering and we had a great time.
Nice,
Yes,
nice,
so
nice.
very much into the educational part. So.
Very nice. Now, with your seamstress work, do you take commissioned work?
I do.
Oh, good.
Finding the time
Finding-
can be a problem, but
Sure.
I prefer to do a lot of my seamstress work in the winter when I'm not doing
well,
portrayals,
sure. Right.
because all summer long is reenactment and
Mhm.
Chautauqua season. So we
Oh,
start as
sure.
early as April all the way through maybe October. So those months in between is when a lot of us do a lot of work. And if I can't help them, then I can contact somebody that may be able to help somebody if they have work that needs to be done.
Nice.
Dresses or outfits or stuff like
Right.
that. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. So if you'd like to have an outfit, get a hold of DebiLynn, or she can guide you to someone who can help you.
Right, if it's more of an urgent case. Time-wise, right now, no.
Oh, yeah, summertime, spring, summer, fall,
Yeah,
you're
we're kinda
way too
busy, yes.
Sure. Well, I think that we might start wrapping up our program for today.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being here, talking to our viewers about what Chautauqua is, who you're going to portray, and it sounds like all the fun that you have.
Oh, we do. Cannot say that it's not fun. Where else do you get to be an adult, wear beautiful gowns, and have tea parties?
Well, that's very, very true.
You know?
Very, very. You're a big girl.
I am a big girl.
I love it.
A
Again,
big girl.
yeah. Again, thank you so much for
You're
being on
welcome,
the
Sandy.
show.
Appreciate you having me back again.
Again, third time. Well, we got to have a fourth one.
This is the charm.
That third time's a charm.
Charm.
That's right. That's
Thank
right.
you, Sandy. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for watching Psychic Creations. And if you would like to be a special guest on our show, please note that the content is of the spiritual, metaphysical,
Historical.
Historical, that's right. And you can contact me at my website, which is www.sandypsychicstones.com, or at my email address, which is admin@sandypsychicstones.com, or on Facebook, Sandie La Nae.
That's right.
Thank you so much for watching Psychic Creations, and we'll see you next show.